Hey all, welcome to Homeschool. We are with class 11 chemistry series. I have successfully covered first chapter of chemistry, basic concepts of chemistry. Entire playlist link is provided in the description. You can go and check it out if you have not yet watched. We started with the second chapter where many of the concepts are already over. Their video links are also provided in the description. So the entire chapter is all about studying various atomic model. Different scientists explained about the structure of atom in different ways. We have completed Thomson's model, Rutherford's model, and now we are in the process of learning Bohr's model. And this person, the Niels Bohr, before he invented his model, he studied two important concepts. They were dual nature of electromagnetic radiation. It means the electromagnetic radiation behaves like a wave and it can also behave like a particle. It was proved by the various experiments like the wave nature is proved by diffraction and interference. Particle nature is proved by black body radiation and photoelectric effect. So he got very important conclusion from dual nature of electromagnetic radiation. Okay, so he could understand how actually atoms can interact with radiation. That is the main point he studied from that particular dual nature of electromagnetic radiation. And now he also studied very important concept, that is atomic spectra. So our today's concept is atomic spectra. Okay, say by studying this atomic spectra, Bohr understood very important point about the atom, how it can absorb radiation and how it can emit radiation. Okay, say for example, any gas or any molecules or atoms you take, when you heat them, those atoms or molecules have capacity to absorb some radiation, or sometimes they have an ability to emit some radiations. Okay, say this is what he studied. How the atoms could absorb a radiation, how the atoms can emit a radiation, and when they emit a radiation, they can emit a radiation of only certain wavelengths or frequency. Okay, they can't emit all sorts of radiation with all frequencies. No, they are emitting only some frequencies. That he concentrated. That point he took. And that is responsible for him to give a better idea about the structure of atom. Say what is that, how they can emit and how they can absorb a radiation, all that we will study a little later, okay, or in my next video. So now let us understand what exactly we mean by atomic spectra. Okay, so spectrum, the word spectrum is not a new word for you, right? This word you heard in your previous classes also, like 8th, 9th, 10th. So what do you mean by a spectrum? The best example for spectrum is a rainbow. Okay, so rainbow I can call as a natural spectrum, right? Can you produce rainbow artificially? Definitely yes. So how do you produce rainbow artificially? See, when white light, okay, white light, we know it's a mixture of all colors, and the light that is coming from sun is white light, and the light that you see from a bulb, electric bulb, is a white light. With your eye, you cannot see the 7 colors which is there in a light. It's not possible, right? Your eye cannot detect the frequencies, those frequencies or wavelengths, right? All of them are combined and you can see that light as white light. But the same white light, okay, for example, the same white light you are passing through a prism. Okay, so white light is striking onto a prism. We all know when you strike white light onto a prism, dispersion takes place. Okay, so that means exact splitting of white light takes place, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the white light will split up into 7 colors. So when the split light comes out of the prism, this is how you will observe different colored bands, isn't it? So this is our violet radiation, right? And this is violet. After that, you will find indigo, right? And then blue, and then you will have a green light, okay? Then you have yellow, and then you have orange and red light, right? Say this is how you will have a band of colors. Say white light, which is a mixture of 7 colors. You are passing it through the prism so that the light is splitting and you can come to know what colors are there. So all the lights, like when all the radiations or all the colors, when they come out of the prism, you know, they are arranged something like this. One color merged with another color. You actually do not have any gaps between the color, right? Say, when I ask you where exactly the violet color end, you can't tell. There's no distinct line where the violet color got end, right? So here one color is merged with another color, and this band of colors where one color merged with another color is called as continuous spectrum. Okay, so what do you mean by spectrum here? Spectrum is nothing but band of colors, band of colors. Okay, and you know what, if you keep a photographic screen, you know, all the colors will fall on a photographic screen, and later you can study about those colors or the radiations separately. Okay, fine. And here we have a word called continuous spectrum. So you must know, what do you mean by continuous spectrum? Continuous spectrum, in the sense, it's nothing but band of colors where one color is merged with another color. So here, what do you mean by a color? Right? Color means it's a radiation. It's a radiation with certain frequency and lambda. Can you tell me what is the lambda value here? What is the lambda value of this violet color radiation? It is 400 nanometer. And what is the wavelength value? Lambda means what? Wavelength. Okay. So here the red radiation has 700 nanometer. Right? So here violet radiation has a wavelength of 400 nanometer. Indigo will have a wavelength much higher than that. Blue will have a wavelength much higher than that. So these are the different radiations which are staying together in white light. So what is the wavelength range of this visible spectrum? We can also call it as visible spectrum. Okay, because all these radiations together we call it as white light or visible region, visible light, that is from sun or any white light source. Okay, and guys, surprisingly, atoms or molecules also can give this band of colors, right? See, the very important point I'm telling you now. So when do you observe the spectrum of atoms? When atoms or molecules absorb radiation or emit radiation. Okay, these radiation can be recorded as spectrum. Okay, so which we call it as atomic spectrum. Okay, so when they will absorb radiation and when they will emit radiation, when you heat them or when you supply some radiation onto the surface of atoms and molecule. Okay, say for example, I have a sodium metal. When I heat this sodium metal, you know, it will emit radiation. So those radiation, when you pass it through prism, you know what, you can observe this kind of spectrum. I mean, I don't tell the same Vibgayar spectrum you will get, but you will get a spectrum with certain colors. Okay, or when you take a hydrogen gas, and you pass some electricity onto a hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas will give you some radiations. Hydrogen gas will give you some radiations. Those radiations, when you pass it through a prism, prism only can split the radiation. When you pass it through a prism, certain band of colors you will observe on a photographic detector, okay, or screen. Such a spectrum we will call it as atomic spectrum. Clear? Even we can get spectrum from atoms and molecules also. When you heat them or when you supply some energy to them, they will either absorb energy or they will emit radiation. Energy means radiation here. Okay, those radiations coming out, they will come out with certain colors. Those colors you may see with your naked eye or you may not see it with your naked eye. If you want to know what colors are there, you are passing those radiations through prism and the outcome will be a band of colors, something like this. So such a spectrum is called atomic spectrum, right? So hope idea of atomic spectrum is clear. And now I will go for two types of atomic spectrum. Okay, so there are two types of atomic spectra. This is really very important. So one is absorption spectrum. First one is absorption spectrum and the other one is emission spectrum. Emission spectrum. Okay, let me write emission spectrum somewhere here. Emission spectrum. Okay, see guys, coming to absorption spectrum, it is the spectrum of absorbed radiation. Absorbed radiation. Okay, say how do you record a spectrum of absorbed radiation by atoms and molecules? Say for example, okay, so I have a source of white light. Okay, this is our light, right? This is our white light. I am passing this white light to hydrogen gas. Say I am passing on to this hydrogen gas. Okay, say hydrogen gas will absorb some radiations. It will absorb. When I pass light onto a hydrogen gas, it will absorb some radiations or some colors. It will absorb some colors. Say white light is made up of 7 colors. No, it will not absorb all the 7 colors. All Vibgayar colors it will not absorb. Only some radiations, okay, some colors it will absorb. Okay, fine. And now, how do we know that which colors have absorbed? To know that, we are heating this. Okay, so we are heating this. And when you heat this hydrogen gas, there are some colors transmitted, emitted. Okay, so there are some colors, some colored radiation emits. Okay, we call this as transmitted light. Okay, and this transmitted light, when you pass it through prism, okay, I hope you understood the entire process. Say hydrogen gas, when you irradiate hydrogen gas with some white light, it will absorb some colors. Okay, and the moment after absorption, after some time, you will have to heat it. When you heat it, it will emit some radiation. Okay, so that radiation with some colors, we call this as transmitted light. And we want to know what colors are there in this transmitted light. Just by looking with your eye, you can't make out what is the colors present in the transmitted light. So we take the help of prism. Say with our naked eye we can't see the colors of white light, no, so we passed it through prism. Likewise, if you want to observe the colored radiation of this transmitted light, you will pass it through prism. So when you pass it through prism, this light, you know what, imagine you had got, these are 2 colors. Okay, so one is orange radiation you got and another one is yellow radiation you got. Okay, so orange radiation, or let me take the green radiation. Okay, so the green radiation, like this. Suppose it has also emitted violet radiation. Imagine it has also emitted the red radiation. If you keep a photographic plate here, all the colors would fall in a photographic plate so that you can easily observe them, right? Okay, so how do they look on a photographic plate? You can observe this. You can observe this. Say violet radiation would form a thick band like this, and then here you will have a red radiation, right? Red color also it has emitted, and then like you will be having orange radiation here, orange radiation, and then a green radiation here. This is how the colors are observed on photographic plate. This is what we call spectrum. You know what? This is what we call absorption spectrum. This is absorption spectrum. And can you tell me, how do you know that which colored radiations are absorbed by hydrogen gas? You see the gaps. Where do you find the gaps? Here there is a gap, right? Here there is a gap. And here, which color? See, violet is there. That means here indigo and blue are missing. So here indigo color is missing, blue is missing. So here yellow is missing. That means your hydrogen gas must have absorbed indigo radiation, blue radiation and yellow radiation. So whichever radiation this hydrogen gas absorbed, those radiation will not appear on absorption spectrum. It indicates that these radiations, so these gaps are the radiations absorbed by hydrogen gas. Okay, except this, every other radiation it has transmitted, it has emitted. So this emitted light had contained these radiations, so only those radiations will fall and make bands on a photographic plate. Okay, so this is how, looking at the absorption spectrum, you can easily say that like which radiations have been absorbed by a particular gas or metal or whatever may be, atoms or molecules. Clear? So you know what, how does the absorption spectrum looks like? It's a band of colors with certain gaps. Okay, so those gaps indicates that those radiations are absorbed by hydrogen gas. Okay, fine. And coming to the emission spectrum. So how do we get a emission spectrum? Say, let me take hydrogen only here. So I took a hydrogen gas. So this is our hydrogen gas, and I supplied electricity here. Supplied electricity. When I supplied electricity, you know what? All atoms in hydrogen gas are there in excited state. Okay, and you know what? It's not that good for the atoms to stay in an excited state. They have to come back to its original form. When they come back to its original form, they emit radiation. Okay, all that excited form, original ground form, all that you will understand little later. Just think of this way. So when you supply electric current to hydrogen gas, you are disturbing its stability. Say that point of time, again to achieve stability, it will release some energy. Okay, energy in the sense it will give out certain radiations. Okay, so this is our emitted radiations. Emitted radiation. Okay, so this emitted radiation is made up of certain colors, certain wavelengths or frequency. You can't see that with your naked eye. So when you pass this to a prism, then you will get a spectrum. Something like this. How is your spectrum looking like here? You see, what are the colors you have observed here? You will get a line, a yellow line. Okay, you will get a blue line and you will get an indigo line. Okay, so remaining all colors are missing. Whenever you heat hydrogen gas, it will emit some radiation. So those radiation, when you pass it through a prism, it will split, you get a colors. So those colors, when you record on a photographic plate, you know what, this is how a colored lines with dark background is appeared. Okay, so how is your emission spectrum looks like? Say, let me write down the point here. emission spectrum will have colored lines with dark background, okay. And your absorption spectrum, how is your absorption spectrum looking like? Absorption spectrum will have colored bands with certain dark lines, okay. Say you see what's the difference between absorption and emission spectrum? This is your emission spectrum, isn't it? See here, whatever the colored lines that were missing in the absorption spectrum, no, they will appear in the emission spectrum. Whatever the color bands you got in absorption spectrum, they all are missing in the emission spectrum, right? Got to know? So this is the difference between absorption spectrum and emission spectrum. You know, this emission spectrum is also called as line emission spectrum. Line emission spectrum. Okay, so why do we call it as line emission spectrum here? The radiations are appearing in the form of colored lines. Okay, say only certain wavelengths you will find, only certain radiations you are finding, right? Everywhere. It may be absorption spectrum or emission spectrum. So this idea is what used by Niels Bohr to discover a very important concept in structure of atom. Okay, see, only few radiations or frequencies or wavelengths are absorbed in both absorption and emission spectrum. So he carefully studied hydrogen spectrum, and by studying hydrogen spectrum, he has given an important conclusion about like how exactly the structure of atom is designed. Okay. Fine. So this is what the difference between the continuous natural spectrum, absorption spectrum and emission spectrum. You can also observe the pictures that is there on a board, like the same element, okay, the same elements, absorption spectrum, how does it look, and emission spectrum, how does it look, and you also have a picture on some continuous spectrum. Okay, and now I will tell you what is the importance of this line emission spectrum. This is really very, very important. Okay, see guys, now let us talk about why line emission spectrum is really very important. See, first point is no two elements will have same line emission spectrum. This is very important. No two elements will have same line emission spectrum. LES means line emission spectrum. Okay, so they act like fingerprints for the element. Okay, so they are like fingerprints for elements. Okay, so just like we have fingerprints, like see, our fingerprints are not similar. My fingerprints are different, my brother's fingerprints are different, sister's fingerprints are different, it's different from our parents' fingerprints. So each and everybody will have their own unique fingerprints. See, we can be identified by these fingerprints, right? Say if it is identical twins, there may be a possibility of same fingerprints, but then that's an exception. But normally speaking, all human beings will have their own unique fingerprints, so that with the help of fingerprints we can identify like which person is that, right? And similarly, these line emission spectrum are like fingerprints. Say this is the line emission spectrum of hydrogen, right? And if you take a line emission spectrum of helium, you get different pattern. If you take line emission spectrum of sodium, you will get a different pattern. Like that, each and every element will show different pattern for line emission spectrum. So with the help of this line emission spectrum, we can actually identify which element it is. Suppose you have invented some new element. Okay, you invented some new element and you want to prove to the people that it is really a new element, and the element like this doesn't exist, right? Then what, how do you prove? You will take out its line spectrum. You will heat it and it will emit certain radiations when you pass it through a prism, and you can record a spectrum, line spectrum you will get, right? And you know what, for every element that is there in our nature, emission spectrum, line emission spectrums are already there. Scientists have done, whoever has invented them, they would have done the line emission spectrum. It's all recorded and there. So you will match its line spectrum with the existing elements line spectrum. Okay, say if the spectrum is matches with any element's line spectrum, then it is not a new element. It is, say for example, this line spectrum is matching with hydrogen's line spectrum, then it is not a new element. It is just the hydrogen that you discovered. It's not the new element that you discovered. It's the old one. It's already there. That's how we will check whether the discovered element is completely new, or is it the same thing that is already existed, right? So this is how any element can be identified with the line emission spectrum. Okay, it's unique. So no two line emission spectrum is similar. It's different for different elements. So this is all about the line emission spectrum. And let me tell you what is the use of studying this atomic spectra. This has given a lot of idea for Niels Bohr. So what our Niels Bohr has done is, Niels Bohr has studied hydrogen's line emission spectrum. Hydrogen's line emission spectrum. Okay, and he gave a reason why actually the energy is absorbed or emitted. Say why the energy is emitted. Why do you get only few colors? Why do you get only few wavelengths or frequencies? Okay, say if you take a line emission spectrum of hydrogen for that matter, you are getting only 3 lines here, right? Only 3 lines. So why is that only 3 lines you are getting? Why not other radiations? For that Niels Bohr has given a beautiful explanation, and based on that explanation, he gave different postulates to talk about the structure of atom. Okay, so how he studied about hydrogen spectrum and what postulates he has given, and how did he explain that why actually you get a spectrum, why actually you get only few radiations on a spectrum. All that we will discuss in the next class. So I'm damn sure that next class is going to be very, very interesting, and do watch that and do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in the easiest way and in a detailed way. Thank you so much.